Okay, guys. Wit and Grit podcast. First things first, we're going to discuss the Daredevil Born Again trailer. But before I started, I got to ask, how much do you guys know about this universe?
The MCU?
Right. Well, no, the MCU, but also Daredevil.
Like, okay, not much, like a lot about the MCU, not much at all about Daredevil. I know he popped up in one of the Spider-Man movies, and I know he had a series on Netflix, but I didn't watch it.
I love this guy. This show, I think of the Netflix shows, The Punisher is the best one. Daredevil's the second. They're not, it's not the best, but I think these are really good. The first two seasons are fire. And if you're like an old Spider-Man, like Saturday morning cartoon from the 90s or those 90s comic books, like you run into a Kingpin that is very much from that universe and that sort of New York City vibe. I'm a huge fan of this one. Matt Murdock kills it with whoever acted in him. Like you said,
Charlie Cox. It's Charlie Cox.
They took him. I love that they just adapted him back. What movie did they put him in, Sean?
So essentially,
Spider-Man. No Way Home. He had an appearance.
Yeah, he does. Wait, he's the lawyer. He's only a lawyer though. So
correct. It was like a funny scene. Everyone laughed when you saw it in theaters because he like catches a brick and
right.
nonchalant. Yeah.
All right, Sean. So here's to set the scene for you because Elliot, I agree with everything Elliot just said. The first time I saw Daredevil was in the Spider-Man comic book show. I don't know why I said comic. In this Spider-Man show from the 90s, where for some reason no one knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but he's walking around with this
ripped
Dorito chip ripped. He doesn't even have glasses.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Like Peter, you couldn't do anything. That guy could lift a bus.
Larry the Lobster from SpongeBob, right?
Yes.
So, but Daredevil, I loved it. I saw all of the Netflix stuff. I even watched the Defenders series when they put them all together. And so Sean, essentially the Netflix shows were popular and they were Marvel shows, but they were made before Marvel knew how to make TV shows. So that's why they were on Netflix. And while they would do things like have the events of Avengers in the background and stuff like that, trying to make it feel like they were in the MCU, it was kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Channel 13. There was no real tie-ins. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on Channel 13, or Channel 13, what am I talking about?
Yeah, like
on ABC. Dude, it was on ABC. That's my local affiliate. It was on ABC. So it was on broadcast television in prime time, right?
Anymore,
they put Coulson in it after he had that big part in the first Avengers movie. Did Coulson ever show up in the main MCU again?
I don't recall. I don't.
He got killed.
No. That's the whole point. That's what would give the show validity, and they never pulled the cord. And they waited so long. All the people who would care if Coulson came back have died for other reasons. Like, no one's left to even miss him. So that's my point. Is like that's just one demonstration of how they wasted this stuff. So they actually had really good shows, most of these on Netflix, but they don't want to bring over the exact storyline. So, but they're still casting for what seems like the same actors for almost everything. So they're bringing over some line, but that's kind of what everyone's watching in the trailer for, is how much of this is going to carry over from the show, how much of this is going to be redone to fit this story.
I will say I've never seen this trailer. I didn't even know they're making this until you guys brought it up for me.
Yeah,
so
same.
While I love the first two, Ian, this was a scoop on your end.
Yeah, I've been a little out of touch. I saw the most recent movie, obviously everyone did, Deadpool and Wolverine, and I plan to see Captain America 4 in a couple weeks, but I have missed the past couple of Disney Plus shows. I didn't see Agatha, maybe didn't see the one before that. So if there are any
universe or whatever.
What
was it? Madam Web.
Well, that was.
I did not see that.
It was supposedly horrible and doesn't matter for the MCU. But
Sarah saw that.
Yeah, maybe I've only missed Agatha so far, actually. But anyway, if that ties into this, I'll miss something. But other than that, I'll be
Agatha. No, so Daredevil is all street level. It's all about Hell's Kitchen. That's his part of New York. That's his borough.
Cool.
And he's always been at odds with the Kingpin. And you've seen that the Kingpin has appeared in a couple of things. You've seen him in some things, right?
Yep. So Kate Bishop, or I guess it was called Hawkeye. But yeah.
Right. Exactly. But you're a little bit more caught up on this than you would think, because that's what you need to know.
Dude, the D'Onofrio Kingpin is
super good.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit it. Wait, so is that a good volume?
Yeah,
Yep.
sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you for finding the time. I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
Yes.
A lot of time has passed. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
The mayor serves his city. I can see you're not entirely convinced.
Can you blame me?
Interesting.
I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
It's hard to come to terms with a violent nature. Hating the power
Oh wait,
it has over us.
wasn't that Punisher?
The
Frank.
city can't go unchecked.
go.
I think it was.
Oh wow.
Dude, Sean, have you seen the Punisher series?
Sometimes these
clips
need to be
from it.
broken.
Oh my God, you're
Chaos
sorry.
Dude, this
reign.
looks like grown up for Marvel, you know?
That's
Martin Hatchet.
Everything was R-rated on Netflix. They were all adult shows.
I was raised to believe in grace.
I guess they figured with Deadpool 3's success, they can make it work commercially.
Oh, who was
But I was
that?
also raised to believe in retribution.
What are all those masks? I don't know enough about this universe.
Nah.
They were all
Oh my
his.
god. The action looks excellent.
And so the title's a double entendre because it's Born Again is a really famous line of Daredevil comics.
Okay.
But Born Again is also kind of the way they're bringing it into the MCU, right? So it's like they're bringing the same, like they were like, oh, we like all the actors, but the story needs to be tweaked a little bit. So I think there's going to be, I think from what I've seen from some breakdowns, it looks like Bullseye is going to be involved in some way, which is a huge opponent for, Daredevil, right below Kingpin, I'm pretty sure. Kingpin's always been my favorite to watch him because it's like watching the lawyer who's blind and dresses up at night and fights people because he can hear where their heartbeat and their blood flow is versus like the corrupt, rich Kingpin who just tries to buy everything and just like the irony of him fighting somebody who's like also a lawyer. I don't know.
I wonder, and maybe they did it in one of the other seasons of Daredevil, but I wonder if they'll be able to like do something creative to like kind of visualize how I know he doesn't see that he's blind, but like how he sees, like how if they can kind of give us that experience in some way.
Do you remember the movie that Ben Affleck was in?
Ooh,
I don't
never
think I saw that.
actually.
I don't think I saw that.
I heard it was really bad.
It was really bad, but that was a huge part of that movie. They had just
Really?
enough CGI where Ben Affleck would go outside, and then when it would rain on people, that's what they did. Is they did the whole like, oh, this is how I see. If it rains everywhere, he can see because of the vibrations. I think because that came off so poorly that they should just avoid it. They did extensively show how he like trained blind to fight
cool.
growing up. Like they went through all of that in the Netflix show.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about Daredevil is it was the first one they did. So every one of their heroes they gave a show to kind of like came in through Daredevil, probably tested well on screen, and then they approved the show.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting, but how much do you think they should carry over, Elliot?
Dude, I mean, I don't know if
You
it's
saw the
carry-
painting, right? You saw the painting.
No, I don't think I know what you're referencing.
What is it called? It's the painting that he would look at that calmed him down as a kid because it's the wall he would look at when his dad was committing domestic violence against his mother.
I mean, you mean carry over
And he's
from
got
the
the-
MCU or carry from the shows? The
From
old
this
shows?
Netflix show to this
Into
new
the
Daredevil MCU show. Yeah, because it's kind of a new thing with the same people. So it's like, how much of it do you think they have to stick strictly to if it happened there, it's already done?
I mean, I like how they're doing it because it's separate. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna have to go to a bunch of MCU stuff. Like Sean, you're saying, like, I don't think
Yeah.
Agatha is gonna tie into this at all. So I appreciate that it's separate content.
Yeah.
In fact, Sean, you've triggered me already. I'm gonna go rewatch The Punisher again, and I promise you'll love it. It's like a CIA / Marvel. It doesn't feel superhero-y. It feels like Bourne Identity stuff. It's
Okay.
pretty sick.
Okay.
And it's what's the name? Who's that guy who plays him? John Barenthal. That dude looks
Is
like
it-
Frank Castle.
Yeah, how do you say it's John Berthel?
John
I don't
Barenthal
know.
or Berthal or something.
I don't know how to say it. He's the guy that was
But-
in The Walking Dead.
Dude, Sean, I'll say this.
Oh
Me and
yeah,
my
yeah.
kid-
Shane from The Walking Dead. Yeah.
Me and my
John
kid
Bernthal.
brother, like whenever we get hyped up, we talk about the scenes. It's like towards the back end when he really becomes the Punisher. Not to spoil anything, but like
Nice.
he gets into this war cry mode where right about as he's about to go fuck shit up, mess shit up. He'll be like, "Rah, rah, rah." But like imagine like John Barenthal doing that and then just like
That's
blasting
awesome.
his way through stuff. It's pretty dope.
That is
Um,
awesome.
I will say, I think the one thing I think I recognize is the Muse. Did you guys see him in the commercial or the trailer?
Mm-mm.
The Muse of that white mask with the
Oh, I saw that. I
Good
didn't know
catch. Yeah.
that guy. If I remember from, he's not from the show. He was from like the 2015, like Charles Soule, who wrote this book, Cursed Words. It's
Ooh.
hilarious. He ran a Daredevil era, but I think he's a pretty disturbing character, so it might go dark, like all the violence
Seems like
showed.
it.
I say that. So I was gonna say, I think he's an artist. Like at one point in the comics, he makes a piece of art using blood from like hundreds of victims or something crazy. Like
Yeah,
he's got
yeah.
blood from a bunch of different people and does art with it. Like for him, so Muse, I think the villain kind of trope is that like it's about the art first. So I think that the downfall would likely be tied to I got to finish the art, and then somebody might take him out. I don't know. That's just what
I am
see
here
from
for
it.
some darker
Seems
MCU
like a cautionary
content.
tale.
Yeah, man.
I
It's
think
like
some darker MCU
Well, if you
content
get
would be
bored of waiting, watch those Netflix shows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like even just moving forward, like I think like seeing some Ghost Rider come into play could be cool. Like I honestly still want them to go back and explore Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man story after he loses Gwen, because he mentions it in Far From Home or
Yeah.
No Way Home. He mentions it in No Way
No Way
Home,
Home.
where he's like things got really dark, and like
Right.
they could play with that. Like I would love to see Garfield portray that version of Peter Parker.
Dude,
I mean,
because is that the Superior Spider-Man line?
I'm not
Or-
sure, honestly. It might be, but I'm not certain.
There's a Superior Spider-Man line where I think Doc Ock dies, and then he like possesses Spider-Man's body, and he has
Yeah.
to share his conscience,
with
and he like, dude, yeah, maybe that would get pretty crazy.
And then like one of the first things he does as Doc Ock's consciousness like takes Peter's body, he goes to try to like fight crime because he wants to feel like a hero. The plot is he's done being a villain. He wants to be a hero, even if he has to do it under the guise of Peter Parker. So he goes to stop a crime. He punches a dude and punches straight through the dude's chest. And that's the moment he realizes, oh, Peter pulls his punches because he's so strong that he would punch through everybody if he didn't pull his punch. Like, it's a cool storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That'd be dope. I'm psyched. I'm gonna go watch some of the Daredevil stuff because it's been 10 years I think we saw before we started the show, our pre-show meeting.
I think so. Which I was at this time.